At exactly 2:14 a.m., Emily Carter picked up her phone and recorded a voice note. Her voice was shaking, not from anger, not from sadness, from fear. She whispered only 7 words. "If something happens to me, I'm sorry." That was the last time anyone ever heard her voice. By morning, she was gone. No broken door, no forced entry, no sign of struggle. Just silence and a phone still lying on her bed. What happened inside that room still has no answer. This is the silent truth. Some stories are forgotten. Some truths are buried. But here, we listen to the silence. This is Silent Truth UK. Emily Carter was 22 years old. She wasn't famous. She wasn't rich. She was just normal. She lived in a small flat in Manchester, worked part-time at a cafe, and called her mum every night before bed. She had dreams. Big dreams. She wanted to become a nurse, to help people. Her mum once said Emily had the kindest heart she'd ever known. She never ignored calls, never disappeared, never scared easily, until the night everything changed. It started small. Almost nothing. Emily told her friend Sophie that she felt like someone was watching her, not outside. Inside her flat. At first, Sophie laughed, told her it was stress, overthinking. But Emily didn't laugh. She said something felt wrong. She started locking her bedroom door, even when she was alone. She checked behind doors, checked her windows, checked her closet. Every night, her sleep became shorter. Her voice became quieter. And then, 3 days before she vanished, she stopped answering calls. Except one. Her mum. And during that call, her mum heard something. A sound in the background. A slow, dragging noise. February 14th. A day for flowers, chocolates, and declarations of love. But for Emily, it became the day she vanished. One moment she was there, laughing as she read a Valentine's card in a crowded cafe, and the next, she was gone. Her coffee was still warm, her coat still draped over the back of her chair. It was as if she'd evaporated into thin air. The police were called, and the investigation began. Her boyfriend, Mark, was the first suspect. As is often the case, he was heartbroken, distraught. A man whose world had just crumbled. He had an alibi, a business meeting across town, confirmed by 3 colleagues. But detectives found his alibi a little too perfect, a little too rehearsed. He said he was planning to propose that night. The ring was in his coat pocket, a silent, sparkling witness to a future that would never happen. Or was it just a prop in a well-staged play? Then there was Emily's best friend, Chloe. She was the one who reported Emily missing. Her tears seemed genuine, her panic palpable. But a week before Valentine's Day, Emily had sent a cryptic text to her sister. "Chloe's been acting strange. I think she knows something about Mark." What could Chloe possibly know? CCTV footage from a nearby shop showed Chloe walking past the cafe just minutes after Emily disappeared. She told police she was nowhere near the area. The first lie had been told. Days turned into a week. The public's fascination grew, and Emily's face was everywhere on news channels, on posters stapled to telephone poles. Every armchair detective had a theory. The case was a labyrinth of secrets. Mark's business wasn't doing as well as he claimed. In fact, he was drowning in debt. Emily, a trust fund heiress, was his only way out. Was a proposal his last desperate move? And did she say no? Meanwhile, the police dug deeper into Chloe's life. They discovered a series of deleted emails between her and an unknown address. When they finally decrypted them, the story took a chilling turn. They were love letters. Not from a secret admirer, but to Mark. Chloe had been obsessed with him for years, long before he even met Emily. Her friendship was a facade, a way to stay close to the man she secretly coveted. The pieces started clicking into place. The strange behavior Emily noticed, Chloe's lie about her location, the emails all pointed to a motive rooted in jealousy. but it still didn't explain where Emily was. The police brought Chloe in for another round of questioning. This time, they presented her with the emails. Her composure finally shattered. She confessed to confronting Emily that day, begging her to leave Mark. She claimed they argued, and Emily stormed off, angry and hurt. Chloe insisted she didn't know where Emily went after that. It was a plausible story, but was it the truth? Just when the case seemed to hit another dead end, a new piece of evidence surfaced. An anonymous tip led police to a remote cabin an hour out of the city. A place owned by Chloe's family, a place she failed to mention. As officers approached the rustic wooden structure, a floorboard creaked under the weight of a misplaced rug inside, and beneath it, they found a small, locked diary. Emily's diary. The final entry was dated February 14th. It read, He knows everything. I have to get away before he finds me. This isn't a proposal, it's a trap. The he she was referring to wasn't Mark. It was her estranged father, a man she hadn't seen in 15 years, a man who had just been released from prison and was desperate to get his hands on her inheritance. He had been tracking her for months. The Valentine's card she was reading in the cafe wasn't from Mark. It was from her father. It wasn't a message of love. It was a threat. Emily hadn't been taken. She had run. She had staged her own disappearance, using the drama between Mark and Chloe as the perfect cover. The final sentence in her diary sent a shiver down everyone's spine. They're all looking for the wrong person. By the time they figure it out, I'll be a ghost. Emily was out there somewhere, a step ahead of everyone, playing a game where she made all the rules. The search for a victim had just become the hunt for a fugitive, and no one knew what her next move would be. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe for more mysteries. February 14th, Valentine's Day. While everyone else was celebrating love, Emily was alone. At 1:47 a.m., her phone activity showed she was awake. Scrolling. Stopping. Scrolling again at 2:03 a.m. Her phone recorded sudden movement. At 2:14 a.m., she recorded the voice note. If something happens to me, I'm sorry. Her voice was barely audible, like she didn't want something to hear her. Then, nothing. No calls. No messages. No activity. Silence. Part 4. The morning discovery, 15 o'clock to 18 o'clock at 10:32 a.m. Emily's mum called again. No answer. She called again, and again. Nothing. She felt it immediately. Something was wrong. She contacted Emily's landlord, who opened the flat. Everything looked normal. The TV was off. The lights were off. Her shoes were by the door. Her keys were on the table. Her phone was on the bed. But Emily was gone. The door had been locked. From inside, Part 5. The investigation, 18 o'clock to 23 o'clock. Police arrived quickly. They searched everything. No forced entry. No broken windows. No signs of struggle. Nothing stolen. Nothing moved. It was like she had simply stopped existing. Security cameras showed no one entering. No one leaving. No scream was heard. No neighbors saw anything. Her bank account was untouched. Her passport remained in her drawer. Her entire life left behind. Part 6. The voice note, 23 o'clock to 26 minutes and 0 seconds. Police listened to the voice note over and over and over again. At first, they only heard Emily. But later, they noticed something else. Behind her voice, very faint, very quiet. Another sound. Breathing. Not hers. Someone else's. Inside the room. With her. Part 7. Her mother's last message, 26 minutes and 0 seconds. It's 28 minutes and 30 seconds. Emily's mom still calls her phone. Every night, just to hear her voicemail. She leaves messages, hoping one day Emily will answer. She said, "I don't care where you are. I just want to know you're alive." But the phone is never turned on again. Part 8. Emotional close, 28 minutes and 30 seconds to 30 minutes and 0 seconds somewhere. Emily Cotta has a story. A truth. A final moment that no one saw. No one heard. Except her and whatever was in that room. Some silences are louder than screams. And some truths are never found. Subscription trigger ending. Very important sound. Piano fades. Silence. If you listen closely, silence always tells the truth. Subscribe to Silent Truth UK. Because the next story is waiting and it wants to be heard. Her phone turned on again. 6 months later, OP and ING hook. 0 o'clock to 0:56 months. 6 months of silence, 6 months without answers. Emily Carter's phone had never turned on again. Until August 3 RD, 2:14 a.m. The exact same time she disappeared. Her phone came back to life. Not in her flat, not with her family, but somewhere else. And what it showed made police stop the investigation entirely. Intro branding 052-105. Some truths hide. Some wait. Some return. This is Silent Truth UK. Part 1. The unexpected signal 105 to 6 o'clock at 2:14 a.m. A mobile network tower detected Emily's phone. Active. Connected. Alive. Police were alerted immediately because Emily's phone had been registered as missing evidence. Signals don't lie. Phones don't turn on by themselves. Someone had it. The signal lasted only 12 seconds, then disappeared again. But those 12 seconds changed everything, because the signal came from somewhere impossible. Her own apartment building. Part 2. Returning to the flat 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock, police returned immediately. The building had been empty. Locked. No new tenants. No reported entry. The landlord unlocked the door slowly. The semi-door. The semi-room. The same silence. Nothing had changed. Except one thing. Emily's bedroom door was open. The last time police were there, it had been closed. The phone was back. Police entered carefully, flashlights scanning every corner. Then, they saw it. Her phone on the floor. Not on the bed where it was found before. On the floor, as if it had been dropped. Recently, the battery was at 1%, still warm. Someone had held it moments ago, but there was no one there. No footsteps, no open window, no escape. Just the phone and silence. And silent. Part 4. The new recording police opened the phone. It was a new file. Recorded at exactly 2:14 a.m. 6 months after she vanished. They pressed play. At first, nothing. Just static. Then, a sound. Footsteps. Slow. Careful. Then breathing. Heavy breathing. Then a whisper. Emily's voice. Weak. Broken. She said. Only 3 words. He's still here. Then the recording ended. Part 5. The truth nitrogen monoxide 1 could explain. Police searched the building again. Every room. Every hallway. Every corner. Nothing. No one. No evidence. No explanation. The signal never returned again. The phone never turned on again. Emily was never found. But her last message changed everything, because it meant one thing. She wasn't alone. She never was. Emotional ending. Emily's mom still waits, still hopes, still listens to that final recording. Oberando ver wondering who or what was still there. Some disappearances don't end. Some voices never leave. And some truths wait in the dark. Subscribe. Trigger ending. If Emily's phone turned on once, it can turn on again. And when it does, we will be era. Subscribe to Silent Truth UK, because the silence is not over. Police searched Emily Carter's flat twice. They found nothing. No evidence. No suspect. No answers. Until one officer noticed something no one else had seen. A crack in the wall. Not damage, not decoration. A crack. It wasn't supposed to be there, and in it was a space no one knew existed. Some secrets are hidden, some are sealed away, and some were never meant to be found. This is Silent Truth UK. Officer Daniel Hayes had been inside the flat before. He knew every corner, every wall, every door. But this time, something felt different. He stood in Emily's bedroom, looking around. When his flashlight passed across the wall beside her bed, he stopped. There was a thin vertical crack, barely visible, too straight to be accidental, too clean to be damage. He moved closer, touched it. The wall felt hollow. Police brought tools, carefully pressing against the surface soothingly. The wall moved, not breaking, opening. A hidden door, sealed perfectly into the wall. No handle on the outside. No sign it existed. Until now. Behind it was darkness. Deep darkness and narrow space, just wide enough for someone to stand. The air inside was heavy, old, stale, but there was something else, something worse. The space wasn't empty. There were marks, scratches on the inside of the walls. Finger marks, hundreds of them. It looked like someone had been standing there for a very, very long time, waiting, watching. And then the discovery that sent a chill down everyone's spine. There were food wrappers, empty water bottles, and they were recent. Not old, not forgotten from decades ago. Someone had been inside that wall, living there, watching Emily. 4 days. Maybe weeks. Maybe even longer. Then, as the police forensics team combed through the tiny, cramped space, they found something else. A small object, glinting in the beam of a flashlight, half hidden in the dust and debris. It was Emily's necklace, the delicate silver locket she wore every single day. The one her mom had given her for her 18th birthday. She never, ever took it off. But now, it was here, inside the wall, and that meant only one thing. Whoever was inside that wall had been close enough to touch her, close enough to take the necklace right from her neck. And that's when the police came to a truly horrifying realization. Emily wasn't alone in her flat. She never had been. For an unknown amount of time, someone had been living inside her walls. A silent, unseen housemate, watching her sleep, listening to her breathe, waiting. And on the night she disappeared, they finally came out. But the most terrifying part of this entire discovery, when the police found that hidden space, it was empty. No one was there anymore. Whoever had been hiding inside was gone. Just like Emily. Emily had been afraid. She felt it. She knew something was deeply wrong in her own home. She tried to tell people, but no one believed her. They called it her imagination. They told her she was just stressed. They dismissed her fears until it was too late. Some fears aren't just in your head, Somiarerel. Some live closer than we can possibly imagine. Closer than walls. Closer than silence. Closer than the safety we think we have. And somewhere, whoever was inside that wall is still out there. Watching. Waiting. Subscribe to Silent Truth UK. Because the next truth is closer than you think.
Police said no one entered Emily Carter's flat. Police said no one left. Police said the cameras saw nothing. The But that wasn't the truth, because one camera, one forgotten camera, recorded something they couldn't explain. Something they never showed the public. Something that appeared. At exactly 2:14 a.m., cameras don't forget. They don't imagine. They don't lie. This is Silent Truth UK. The building had 4 cameras. 3 inside, 1 outside. Police checked the inside cameras first. Nothing. No movement, no visitors, no sign of Emily leaving. The outside camera was older, poor quality, easy to ignore. But Officer Hayes decided to check it anyway. He watched hours of empty footage. Nothing moved, nothing changed, until 2:14 a.m. At first, nothing, just the empty entrance, still silent. Then suddenly, movement. A shadow appeared, standing in the doorway. Tall, thin, unmoving. It wasn't Emily, it wasn't any resident. It just stood there facing the camera. For 17 seconds, not moving, not breathing, just watching. The entrance door required a key to open. No key was used. No door movement was recorded, but the figure was there, standing. Then slowly, it moved forward. Not walking normally, almost gliding. Then it stepped out of view and disappeared. No exit recorded, no direction, just gone. Police enhanced the footage, zoomed in, frame by frame, and saw something disturbing. The figure wasn't facing away from the camera. It was facing toward it, which meant it wasn't leaving. It was entering the building. At exactly the same time, Emily recorded her last voice note. Police never released the footage. They never explained it. They never identified the figure. Officially, Emily Carter remains missing. Unofficially, there was someone there that night. Someone who was never seen entering, never seen leaving, but was definitely there, Emily said. If something happens to me, I'm sorry. She knew. She felt it. She wasn't alone, and maybe she never had been. Some truths hide in silence, some wait in darkness, and some are still watching. If the camera saw it once, it can see it again. Subscribe to Silent Truth UK, because the next time, it might be watching you.